we do נתיבות שלום על התורה, ספר ויקרא, פרשת תזריע, אישה כי תזריע וילדה זכר. So the literal translation for this verse means that the woman conceive sperm and she will give birth to a male, to a baby boy. So remember, we learned Netivot Shalom, and Netivot Shalom is Chasiduth. Right, so it's not about the pshat; it's more about the inner part of the Torah. So that's why we're going to talk about this. So we said in our sages, the Dorshin Masechet Brachot, Darshu Lashon HaKatuv, Isha ki tazria v'yelda zachar. Right, so they're explaining about the woman conceived and she gave a birth to a boy. Isha mazrat tchila v'yelda zachar. If the woman conceived, was basically, I think it's like if she come before the man, then she will have a boy, a male. ויש לומר הרמז בזה, we should say, it's a hint for דרך העבודה, right? How to serve Hashem. והנה שורשי עבודת השם הם אהבה ויראה, right? So the roots or the foundation of serving Hashem are two. We learned it many times. Love and fear. Right? And it says there are two ways, two paths. In the Torah, or serving Hashem without fear and love, it doesn't fly. ולכן אומרים, קודם כל, מצווה בתחילו ורחימו, right? So we have in the Sidurim, if you see the preparation before davening or before doing any mitzvah, especially for the Sephardic Sidurim, I think it's also in the Ashkenazim, there is a nosach, like a small little paragraph says, betchilu, chimu, chimu, tchilu, like with love and fear and, right? Because you want to have love, but still you want to have a little bit fear in it. And you want to have fear, but with a little bit of love in it. And then that's preparing us for whatever mitzvah we do. And this is relate to one of the commandments, Anochi, right? I am Hashem your God, love, velo yeh lecha, and you shouldn't have any other gods, that's fear. They were said by Hashem, metaphorically, in one breath. Because the Anochi, I am Hashem, right? Including all the mitzvot aseh, the mitzvot that we're supposed to do, the permissible one, and lo yeh lecha, and you shouldn't have, it's including all the mitzvot lo taseh, which is part of the era, right? Because thing that we're not allowed to do, if nobody watch us or there is no punishment, then what's the guarantee that we will not do it? They were all, both of them said in one breath, to teach us that the perfection in serving Hashem is the two midot as one, love and fear. And also for Shabbat, our sages said, Shamor ve'zachor, right, commemorate and watch the Shabbat, b'dibur echad nemru, which is zachor, it's the mitzvot aseh of Shabbat, which is love, ve'shamor, it's the mitzvot lo taseh of Shabbat. Achen, but indeed he said at the beginning, we have to see the ofira. As it says, betchilu, it's in Aramaic, it's from the Zohar. Betchilu, it's with fear, and rechimu, like mercy, rechimua, it's love, which means fear prior to love. And it says in the Zohar Kadosh that really, Kuda Kadma, the first thing was the fear, and then the love came after. And also we found the Torah, that the preparation of receiving the Torah was in the level of Ira. As I just said, right, a Torah nitna, right, when Hashem revealed himself in Har Sinai, it said that the Torah was giving to us with Ira, Eima, Ira, Retet, Zia. It's all a different type of fear, not synonym. Each one have its own thing. Shivering, cold sweat, fear and anxiety, but on a positive level, etc. We said, and that was before getting the lightning and the thunder, etc. Right? What is charedim? People that are fear, basically. Right? Fear. When somebody asks you, are you charedim? You said, yes, you actually mean, are you afraid? Yeah, I'm afraid. This is who we are. Right? That's chared. What is chared? Chared edvar Hashem. I'm afraid for Hashem's world. I'm have fear and awe to Hashem. This is Haredim, basically, literally. Or you can say it, I'm frightened. Right? I'm frightened from. He says, and why? Because that was the beginning, or that was the preparation of receiving the Torah, and these two things. So said, Rabbi on the explanation, how a flesh and blood, that it's sunk into the materialistic world, can really receive the Torah, which is Kodesh Kodashim, it's all spiritual thing. Only by having the yira, the fear that is purifying the materials. And therefore, that was the main preparation for the Torah. And the same way, אי אפשר להגיע לאהבת Hashem, you cannot achieve or get into the level of loving Hashem, but to have a fear before. Because בעניין אהבת Hashem, loving Hashem, the Rambam wrote in the הלכות of יסודי התורה, the foundation of the Torah. כשהתבונן האדם במעשיו ובוראיו הנפלאים, right? When a person is observing what Hashem created, this creature and the world, and like unbelievable, and color and flowers and sweet animals and tasty steaks, right? So immediately he loves Hashem. But it's a love that comes from the sechel, because we see, oh, it's a sweet animal, oh, look at this mountain, oh, look at the snow, beautiful. That comes from the sechel, right? Like a logical love. אמנם בהלכות תשובה כתב, but he wrote in the תשובה, what is the appropriate love? That he should love Hashem like a mighty love, like he is a sick love. בבחינת נפשי חולת אהבתך, right? We sang that in שיר השירים. That like, again, if we had that moment of first love to a woman, this is basically what they say. The same energy, the same thing that you have, whether if you're a teenager or whatever, said this is how we should love the Torah. The same level, even more. As it said, azaka ma'aba, right? Like the love is strong like death. And to have that level, then we'll have love of Hashem. And he said in all Shir HaShirim, it's an analogy for these things, how we're supposed to love Hashem. And that love comes from emotion, right? Emotion, which you cannot argue with emotion. This is how I feel, and that's it. I'm entitled to have certain feeling. Nobody can argue if I should have it or not. So here he said that this is how we should have, so emotional to Hashem. And how a physical body can achieve such kind of a level of loving Hashem. He said the way for that, it's only prior to that to have the level of yira, because the yira, the fear, will take out the bad bloods and refine our body. And when we are refined, cured, then we can achieve that level. In the Torah Avot, P'rashat Ve'etchanan, he said on the pasuk, on the verse, "Va'avta et Hashem Elokecha," right, that you love Hashem, right? Shu Sofei Tovot, it's like the last word acronym, Taf Chaf Hei, which is one of the holy name of the 72 names of Hashem. So Takeh, it's like to beating, right? Beating. So by having that, we can achieve the love of Hashem, which means by beating the physical body, the materialistic things, and whatever we have desire for physical thing, then we can conquer that, and then we can actually break that, and then we can achieve the love of Hashem. Because as long as we have something that is controlling us, like the chomer, the chomriyut, the physical things, we cannot achieve the right level to love Hashem. And he says in the holy books that a Jew, יהודי אינו מסוגל לאהוב את הקדוש ברוך הוא כל עוד אוהב את עצמו. So a Jew can not really love Hashem if he loves himself more, right? But I think loving our friends, our fellow Jews, that's a level of loving Hashem. But loving ourselves, like being selfish, that's still being connect ourselves to the Chomer. But breaking that, beating that with the takeh, then we can love Hashem better. And in Sefer HaKadosh, Noam Elimelech, I think he had his yorts last week. Ita Shemidat Ira, I said that the level of ira, it's a vessel to receive the love. that without that, he cannot receive the love or the level of love. And also, the era, right, is another type of vessel to receive the Torah. Because think about it. Truly, why we are not doing things that maybe we want to do, but Hashem told us not to do, and we are not doing it? Is it because we're afraid of the punishment? Is it because we know that we're not going to have heaven after we die? Is it because we're not going to have good parnasa here in this world if we do that? Like, what's the reason not doing it? The basic reason is simply being afraid from the punishment. It's a lower level of faith, but still it's good, right? If it's keeping a person away. That's why it said that when everything goes smooth, everything is great, then yes, of course, but chas v'chalila, something is bad. And we had so many stories about Jews that they need to bring food to the table to the families. They worked on Shabbat. They didn't want to do that. That was stronger than the fear of the punishment because they had to do. So now there is another level, and this is what he's talking about here, the Noam Elimelech and Netivot Shalom. He said that when you have a fear, it's a vessel to love Hashem, and it's also a vessel to the Torah. It always go together. And a higher level of fear is not that being afraid of the punishment, but for example, it's afraid to disappoint Hashem. That's a higher level. Same thing that we have with our parents. We don't want to disappoint our parents. We want to succeed. And our parents want us to succeed and to be even better than them. And this is what Hashem wants. So that was the preparation of receiving the Torah in the level of fear, because that was the vessel for love. And this is the hint that we're going back to the same verse that we had, Isha Mazra Tchila, when a woman conceived first, she will give a birth to a boy, to a male. A woman in Chasiduth or in Kabbalah, basically, it's a hint, it's the midah of the Gvura in Ira, the fear, not the man, right? Basically, the one who is married or was married, you know that sometimes we're afraid from the wife, right? From a reaction or whatever. So a female on the Kabbalistic side, it's the Gvura, it's the strength and the fear. As we said, Isha Yirat Hashem. And male is the level of love. So if beginning, אם מתחיל מאישה יראת השם ממידת היראה, if starting from the מידת היראה from the female side, then she will have a male, which means will receive or will achieve and will get to the level of love. Because we said at the beginning, betchilu, which is fear, which is the female side, and then rechimu, and then the love side. But the vessel again to receive the love is from the era. And according to that, the preparation of receiving the Torah have to be 7 weeks, right? Shava Shabbatot Tmimot, 7 Shabbases, right? Like the Sheva Neki'im, right? The day that a woman is counted from her period. These are 7 weeks. It's preparation, which will be in Zachor v'Shamor, right? To commemorate and to watch in the Dibur Echad, love and fear in the Dibur Echad. Then that will be a perfection. And as the Zohar is giving an analogy, like wings, right? Red Bull came up with the advertisement, if you're drinking Red Bull, it will give you wings. The Zohar said that serving Hashem, if you want to have a perfection, the love and the fear, it is like wings. A bird cannot fly with 1 wing, only with 2. So if we have only fear, it's not good enough, we cannot fly. If we have only love, we cannot fly. But having the fear and the love together, then we can fly and elevate ourselves. And that's the preparation. And actually, we're starting to get to that, right? Because these parshiot basically are always before, or at least Tzav, I think, but they're coming before Pesach. And that's like a preparation. And that's why we were reading, for example, the Parashat Para last week, in order to sanctify the Chodesh, which was like last week was the Chodesh, and the week before was the Para. The Para was to purify us spiritually, and then we have the Parasha of the Chodesh, and now we're getting into the Pesach and the preparation and the cleaning, fear and love, and then receiving the Torah 7 weeks after. And that's why this is how we teach about the verse about Isha Mazra Tchila. And that will help us to elevate ourselves and receive the Torah. Thank you very much for listening and properly.
Shkoach.
Thank you.
It was nice. Did it work?
I hope. I don't know what happened to the Zoom. It's still recording, but yeah.